Hello everybody, it's been a little while and I know I said I wasn't going to be doing any more for a little bit, but this week is National Allotments Week and I wanted to come on and just share a bit of my experience really, and just maybe give some tips and advice. Not that I'm qualified to, just obviously, as everybody is aware, we no longer have an allotment anymore. We were served a notice to quit and we accepted it after trying everything we could to not be kicked off. But if there's any advice that I can give, and hopefully give some pointers as to make these things a little bit easier for yourself, or maybe it's just to share a little bit of reality of taking on an allotment. So I'll try not to keep you too long because I don't want to waffle on. So first advice is to research and visit sites, whether that's the one that you want to be on or a local one that you can get to, where you can have conversations with people on there, whether that's people who've had them for ages, committee members, and even getting in touch with, you know, the people who give out the rules and regulations of allotments, because they do have them. You know, there is expectations and it's good to find out what they are, and it's good for you to see what to expect and the kind of work that would be involved to take on allotment, to cultivate it, to maintain it, but ultimately to be able to give yourself something enjoyable to do and be able to reap rewards off the back of it. Of course, the whole point of having your allotments is to be able to grow fruit and veg, or to keep chickens, or, you know, so definitely do a lot of research and definitely go and visit any sites that you can. I say, and ask many questions. There's no such thing as a stupid question. You're not going to know if you don't ask, and there's always somebody there who can answer it for you, and even maybe just help out for a little while whilst you are on a waiting list. You know, decide whether you should take on a full plot or half a plot. Now, in my experience, we should have taken on half a plot. Took on that full plot that looked like a football pitch, and we bit off more than we could chew with it. So really we should have taken on half of it and done what we could with that, and then eventually maybe look to extend to taking on a full plot. So hindsight is a wonderful thing, but we don't have it, unfortunately. So but these things are sent to try us. So that would be my first tip: research. Second tip would be, if you are on the cusp of getting an allotment, is try and get your resources sort of literally ready to go. So make things much easier. So things like pallets, bricks, compost or manure, wood chip, excuse me, that kind of thing. If you can get hold of things like that through, you know, Gumtree, Facebook Marketplace is a really good one as long as you time it right. Greenhouses, sheds, you know, you can pick anything up really, and you can do it on a shoestring budget. It's just being clever and seeking them out, so you can get them before you get one. It makes things much easier. We struggled a lot, and then we were finding some of the things that we were getting our hands on wasn't quite the right things, or we didn't have a good transport. Particular some slabs we picked up were huge. They were a lot bigger than what we thought, and we managed, I think, about 3 between 2 cars. It was ridiculous. They were just massive. So that would definitely help. And I do apologise, but my cat is just walking across the top of there. Phoebe! It's because she knows I'm Minnie. Anyway, sorry about the slight distraction there. She's pinned the backside. So yeah, so resources, if you can pin them down, or put the feelers out, get them to do it. And it's just make sure you enjoy it. The whole point of having an allotment is that it's meant to be enjoyable, and you need to be able to have a good idea of whether you can have that good balance between managing an allotment and everything else that goes on at home. Now, unfortunately for me, balancing things hasn't always been my greatest strong point, and I seem to have been all right for a while purely because I was part-time, and you know, then a couple of days where the kids were at school, I could head to the allotment, get things, bits and pieces done. But obviously I've gone into full-time work, so that changed my time that I spent there. Husband's hours have completely changed. He works like really late shifts, most days, most weekends, and then my little boy's obviously taken on a football team as well. So obviously now Saturdays and Sundays are taken up with football. So the spare time that I would have had is now being filled up by other things. And for me, they're a little bit more important now, because it gives us that chance to be able to let them have hobbies, and for the kids. And I know I've got to have things for myself, but I've got a new outlook on what I can do moving forward. But yeah, you do need to have a good reality check of, can you manage the time that you need to put into it. I'm gutted. I still feel gutted, and I still feel a bit of a failure that I couldn't turn it around. You know, we'd had that notice. We worked our backsides off for 2 weeks that we were given. We dug it over, we worked in the rain, we stringed it back, we put things in, you know, and it still wasn't enough. So some sites are quite tough, and you need to bear that in mind too. But don't let it put you off, because if you know you can do it, if you know you can put the time in, brilliant, go for it. Do not be put off. And one of the other things as well is, I think sometimes, as even just as gardeners, and probably more so as an allotmenteers, it's put so much pressure on ourselves to grow things from scratch. Now, if we can do it, it's great and it's brilliant. But in particular, if you're taking on a full-size plot, you've got to manage being able to, you know, success grow and everything else that comes with it. So there's nothing wrong with getting plug plants and just using the suppliers that you can. You obviously go to local garden centres if you can, who will give you good advice, and you tend to find they're either a little bit cheaper and they tend to be in quite good condition. And you know, there's online places where you can get seedlings sent through, and they come in lovely packaging that doesn't involve plastic or anything anymore. So you've got lots of options. You don't always have to grow everything from seed. And I think for me, that was I think I put too much pressure on myself for that. And I think even at home, you know, it's kind of, yes, it's a great sense of achievement, don't get me wrong, when you grow things from seed and you see it, you know, start to grow its little first leaves, and then it gets its true leaves, and then you nurture it and you bring it on, and you can't beat that feeling. But you can still do it with a seedling. It's just that someone's just started it off for you, you know. So just bear that in mind. As long as you can get hold of something that you can pop in the ground, you can nurture it, give it some love and attention, you know, what it needs, it'll still pay you back the same as if you did it with a seed. It's no different. It won't taste no different neither, as long as you just give it what it needs. So for me, there would be some of the tips and advice that I would give. So for me, moving forward, I am not put off, and I'm not putting anybody else off. I just wanted to share a little bit of experience from my point of view, just so that you can avoid doing what I did, you know. And the hardest thing is admitting defeat, and it's not admitting defeat, it's just admitting that you maybe have taken on a bit too much at that point, you know. And there's no shame in that, you know. There's nothing wrong with holding your hands up and saying, you know what, actually no, this is too much, I need to take a step back, because you don't want it to become a chore, you don't want it to become unenjoyable and have the fun taken out of it. And that was where my head was starting to go, and I didn't want to lose that. And I've really suffered this year. I think with just so much pressure on trying to keep the balance on everything. My home garden's suffered. Things have died so much in the greenhouse. I mean, I know you see these around me, but these are what I've just bought to pop in the front garden. So I can concentrate on them now, which is nice. I'm going to be growing food still. I am trying to work out a plan so that I can interweave it in my borders. Looking for like dwarf varieties of things. I've got trellis I can grow things up on. Obviously I've got my greenhouse still, so I can grow things in here. So it's not the end for me, by no means at least. I get to play back where it all began really, and get these gardens looking the best that they can be. And then I've got a side plot as well. That's just a patch of soil. We've covered it over with fabric at the minute. So that's a patch of soil. So I'm going to work out what to do with that. So yeah. So I say I don't want to waffle on. I don't want to keep you too long. But just because it was National Allotments Week, I really wanted to give an honest account really of my experience. And don't get me wrong, I've taken away so much from it, you know, and the support I've had from social media has been incredible. And you know, I'm not the only one. That's it. You know, you'll find when you reach out or when you say things, people will come out and say, actually, do you know what, I'm in the same boat. I know you feel, and it makes you feel a little bit better. So please don't be afraid ever to speak up or to ask, you know, for advice or anything. So yeah, I'm not going to be put off. I will get an allotment again eventually, but it'll be when I'm part-time or when I'm retired, which will be years to go. So yeah, so there you go. So if you are going to take on an allotment, I wish you good luck with it. Enjoy every moment of it, and I would love to see the things that you get up to on them. And for those who have your allotments and can balance full-time jobs and stuff off to you, absolute hats off to you. I've got such admiration, you know. But I know there's people out there who don't have allotments and are still able to grow such incredible things at home. You know, there's some Twitter accounts and Instagram accounts that I follow, and they are inspirational, and I would love to be up at that level. Might take me a few years, but watch this space. I'm not going to give up too easy, especially not in my own home. I've got no excuses. So I'd love to be, you know, as inspirational as what they are. I can be creative when I want to be, and it's just getting that time and it's getting that balance back right. So just watch this space. So for now, happy National Allotments Week. Have fun and look forward to seeing some of your posts. And if you want to, feel free to subscribe to my channel. So I'm not going to be doing lots of updates at the minute, but there will be coming. So just sit tight, and I shall see you all next time. Bye.